If I talk about too many things, is it going to confuse my audience? This is one of the biggest lies that we've been fed, we've internalized and accepted as absolute truth. That if you talk about too many things, you're not going to be able to build an audience. Now, let me tell you, the truth is, yes, if you talk about one thing and one thing only, it will be easier for you to attract an audience and grow an audience because it's easy for a stranger to categorize you. They come across your channel, they look at, all right, you talk about this topic, you talk about it a few times, and quickly enough, they make a connection that, oh, this is the girl or the guy that talks about X. Next time I need something related to X, I will go to their channel. Great. If you can be happy with that, that's awesome. Chances are, if you're asking yourself this question, it's because you are not happy with that. Because you know that deep down, you will be very unfulfilled if you had to only talk about one topic and one topic only. In fact, there's a very good chance that your offer, the thing that you've created, your soul's work, is actually an intersection of different topics. It's not just one thing, it's multiple things. And so, if you were to make that your channel, it's not even going to attract the right people. So, yeah, you'll be growing fast, but you'll be growing fast, but in the wrong direction. You know, you'll have a bigger audience, but it's not going to be your ideal audience. You might be tempted to think, oh, I can do that for some time, talk about just one thing and attract a big audience, and then slowly branch out into all the other things that my heart really wants to talk about. But that would be a mistake, in my opinion, because that's when people get confused. That's when they go, wait, you were talking about this one thing and all of a sudden you're branching out into other things. So that is not a winning strategy. I don't think. So this is why when I work with my clients, I never tell them to just pick one thing. I always tell them to embrace all parts of themselves. And listen, this is the part that really clenches my butt. Historically, there have been so many people who have studied so many different fields, that are completely unrelated, seemingly unrelated. So like mathematics and astronomy and art, right? Arts and literature or whatever. And they combine all these things, and these people create masterpieces as a result of combining all of these things. And then nowadays, if you listen to the narrative, they'll have you believe that you're not smart enough to like walk and chew gum at the same time. You can't do those things at the same time. And it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. I've done the work a long time ago where I decided that I would rather have 100 people in my audience who like me for who I am and the stuff that I am interested in talking about. I'd rather have 100 people like that than to have 1 million followers who are only tuning in because I talk about trending topics. And I trust that my ideal audience is smart enough to understand that I'm a multifaceted human being who has different interests and depth. And if I want to have deep conversations, I want people who are not, surface level thinkers, then I have to allow myself to express that side of myself and cultivate that side of myself so that I can attract that kind of person. Because that kind of person is not looking for shallow conversations. It's not that social media is bad. Like, we think that social media is bad and it makes people shallow and whatnot, but then we give in to the pressure and we become the person, like we contribute to the creation of the system by giving in and by becoming that kind of person because we are looking for quick, for the word, I'm not finding the word right now. What is it called? Gratification. Yeah, immediate gratification. We look for that. We look for, how can I get those numbers as quickly as possible? And then we go, well, I've suppressed myself because I'm on social media and social media dictates that I have to suppress some parts of myself. That's bullshit. You don't have to do that. You don't have to play by those rules, BS rules that are made up. You don't have to do that. Just know that your growth is going to be probably a lot slower than some other people, but you have to have a strong, stomach to accept that and to really to decide that this is what I want. This is what I want. And I've decided that this is what I want. I don't want to talk about just one topic for the rest of my life. Can you imagine? But like, I don't know. I can't imagine talking about just marketing day in and day out. Like, yeah, I would hate it. I would get sick of it. That's why I talk about marketing, and also I talk about personal growth slash personal development slash spiritual growth. Sometimes I talk about spirituality. I talk about creativity. I talk about content creation, which falls under the umbrella of marketing, entrepreneurship. Obviously, I talk about self-expression. I talk about all these things because all these things are things that matter to me. And all these things, philosophy, creativity, art, whatever, mysticism, along with business and marketing, all of these things are part of my work. And if you think about your work, and this is what I do with my clients too, if you think about your work, your offers, your ideal line of work, it is probably going to be an intersection of different interests anyway. So it's probably going to be like you brought different things from different fields to one thing, and then you've made it different. You know, you've created some sort of connection. You're creating a new market. So it's not going to be as simple as finding a market that already exists on social media. You have to be patient to create that market for yourself. You have to do the education part. And by education, I don't mean just educating people on topics, but really explain why should they care. And this is a scary part because you have to be a walking, like I always like to say, you have to be a walking case study for your kind of work. Like I need to look at you and see that, okay, this I like them, I like their life, I like something about them. Oh, it's the result of what they do, of the work that they do. Cool. Okay, I can see that this stuff matters. I can see that it can make a difference in my life. Let me check it out. So you have to be a walking example of why should I care? You have to embody the work that you do. And that takes time. And that's okay because you're probably not looking for people who are too lazy to get to know you anyway. You don't want to participate in the game of like scrolling really fast, you know, constantly churning out a new short every single day, talking about one topic every single day, you know, creating shallow relationships, talking about shallow topics, covering things in a shallow way because that's what social media rewards. You're not interested in that. So be honest with yourself, be brave, accept that that's what you want, own it, and commit to making that work. And if enough of us put our foots down and say, this is how we're going to use the internet, this is how we're going to use social media, we can change the game. The world is starving for real conversations. The world is starving for true authenticity, not bullshit authenticity that's fabricated where people just get on, like, go and share personal stuff and try to create sob stories and shit. That's not what authenticity is. People are looking for real. People are so tired of being surrounded by so many people and feeling so alone deep down not because we're not sharing our personal private stuff, but because we are not touching a deeper part of ourselves. Like, how many of us actually spend time in nature or spend time in silence or go take a freaking break from information and sensory overload or actually reconnect with ourselves or know how we feel or understand ourselves? Let alone, if you can't touch yourself, can you hope to touch somebody else's soul if you can't touch your own soul? That's not going to happen. So if you want to create real connections with people online or otherwise, you have to first connect with yourself. I promise you the world needs that. The world wants that. People are looking for it, even if they don't know it. They don't know how to articulate it, but they want this. You want this. I want this. And I've been lucky enough that I've been able to create this in my life. To some degree, I've been able to create this because I at least had the courage at some point to say, you know what, this is what I want. I walked away from a business that was doing well financially. I don't want to talk about numbers, but my business was doing really well in a field that was doing really well. I was, you know, on paper, it sounded great. There was no reason for me to leave it other than the fact that it was not fulfilling. And I knew there was more for me and I was willing to risk that. And I'm so grateful because now when I work with my clients, when I do the work that I was called to do, which was not clear to me in the beginning, I had no idea what the heck I wanted to do. I just knew that there was something calling me. Now it doesn't even feel like work. Now when I do it, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like, wow, I get to do this. And I don't have to motivate myself or push myself to do it because it's meaningful to me, because it makes me feel alive. It brings me alive. It is so fun and meaningful, despite the challenges, despite everything. It adds so much beauty to my life. But it started when I decided I had to own who I am and stop looking for, stop adopting other people's definition of success. My channel, as I'm recording this, October 2024, has like 300 and some subscribers. I've been posting since, I think, July or August 2022, like consistently, okay? I posted on and off on other channels before, here and there, but consistently since summer 2022. Doesn't fucking matter because I have clients I love. I get to talk about the thing that makes me happy. It's not a big channel. It doesn't sound impressive or look impressive, but it makes me happy and it gives me what I want and need. So what else do I want? If it's gonna grow, I know it's gonna grow, but it's gonna take, I don't know how much time, and that's okay. I'm here for it. However long it needs, that's fine. And so I'm not trying to convince you that, like, you should want this or you should want that. I just want, the only thing I'm trying to convince you of is to say yes to your heart and really own what you really want. Like, stop lying to yourself about what you want. Stop denying yourself what you want. Stop suppressing parts of yourself just because you think you can somehow make sense of them. If people are confused by what you talk about because you're talking about too many things, it's not because you talk about too many things. It's a reflection of your inner confusion because you have not made sense of all of the parts of yourself. You have not owned that all of these parts are part of the same one person. And if you're building a brand of full self-expression, then it only makes sense that you're going to be okay talking about these things, and it will make sense. It will make sense. It won't make immediate sense to everybody, but it will make sense to those who will stick around, who are supposed to get the message. And people respond to your energy before they respond to your word. So that's it. Yes and no. It will confuse some people who are looking for immediate, who are, you know, those people who are just scroll. They might get confused, yes. But is that what you want anyway? Is that the game you want to play? Or do you want to slow down, take a deep breath, be aware of your life, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of being the experience of being alive. What is it like to be you? To share that, and then have a few people slowly start to listen. All right, that's it. That's my message for today. Hope you like this video and find it helpful. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you next time.